Hello, and welcome to a new episode from Mac the Tech. This is Muhammad. I am Power BI consultant, and I'm here to help you in your Power BI project. I make a small series of episodes that cover different topics in Power BI to guide you and help you in your Power BI journey. I think you will like the content that I'm presenting, and for this, I'm going to ask you to subscribe for this channel, turn on the bell icon to receive notification as soon as I post something new, and like and share the episode with your friends that are interested in such content. Without further ado, let's go to the episode and see what today we are going to cover in Power BI. Today's episode is about budget tracking. As you know, we are in the beginning of the year, and many of us have budgets and we want to track our budgets. And there's an old way to track budget, and that's on Power BI. If you want to track a budget, you use any of those gauge visualizations. So basically, you can go and make this one. And if you have the data, you have your budget, and then you can track it and see where are you and how far are you from budget. But what if I tell you you can have built in Power BI a visualization that is, to me at least, I think much more intuitive and makes more sense, and you can have it like this. And as you can see here, you can see that these are the customers' slicers. And if I want to track my customer budgets and whoever are in these budgets, so say these are customers and now you want to track them and say I want to see Matt, Mazen, Ryan, Mac, Sam, and you can see here the budget is tracking each one of them in a very nice way. You might say this visualization is not available in Power BI, but let me show you and assure you that this visualization is available in Power BI. It needs a little bit of tweaking and it can be done very easily. First, you have to bring the 100% stacked bar chart. So if I bring this 100% stacked bar chart to here, and I'll make it the same size just for the sake of this exercise so that we can all relate to this very same exercise. I'm gonna put here, remove the slicer so that you can see all, and you can track at the same time the thing that we are doing. What's in this chart? Definitely there is two things. The sales that you are doing, and at the same time, there is the gap between the budget and the sales. So here's what we are going to do. So first, from my sample data that I'm using here, I have the total sales. If I bring this here, we can see immediately that we have this green bar. But for this bar to appear like this, it needs to have a gap. And that's why we need to calculate something in the budget that's called gap. And as you can see here, I calculated the gap using a very small formula. So I have sum of budget minus sum of total sales. Now, as you can see in this formula, an if statement. And in this if statement, if the sum of the budget minus the sum of the sales is less than 0, which means this time that we are superseding our budget, then it will be 0 because the gap will be 0. There's no gap actually, you're overcoming it. Otherwise, it will give you the total sum of budget minus the sum of data. That means the sales is still less than the budget. If I put the gap in here, then I'll have the gap that you see over there. And this way, if I choose a slicer and I removed, for example, N, you'll see it's 100%. And if I put Ryan, you'll see it's different in percentages. So with that being said, and we can see here total sales versus gap. The bars of this, I'll make the gap in this color, and this way I will have it very close to this color. About the thing, I can say I want to remove the x-axis, remove the y-axis, at the same time remove the legend, and this way I will have it pretty close to the one above. And then I'll remove the title as well. Now what about if I want to make this curved shape that you see over here? You go to insert and you use a shape. You use a round edged shape. Where is this shape? Here it is. So let me bring this shape in here. And I'll put it above this one here. If you look at it, you think that I'm doing something really, but it's not that big deal. Now in the style, I remove the fill. I'll keep the border. And in the border, I'll make it relatively the same size. Here, I'll increase the border so that it is filled. And now I can increase a little bit the size so that I can see it better. So let me do this so that you can see it better maybe. I'll go to general properties, and this way, this will give you a better, precise placement if you want. And now I can see it in the middle. I'll play also here with the size. So I'll go to properties and I'm gonna decrease the width, and I'm gonna move it a bit horizontally so that it fills the gap of my pill shape. So here again, let's do under style, the shape. I want more round corners. And here you go. Now I have a very similar shape to the one that you see above. And if I choose all, you can see it's moving. And this is pretty straightforward, and you can see it's very easy. We've done it very, very fast. So now what? The slicer is working, but the slicer is very important. As you can see, I can show here the names. If I remove Rayyan from here, I have all. Now I can use the very same shape that I have here. And in the text here, I would say text, and I would say all. And I'm gonna place it at the end. I'm gonna use padding here to move it a bit. And we can see now we have the all. But if I change whatever change here, it's not taking the names of the slicer, it's writing only all. Because here's the trick in this part. This is very powerful. We have to write a DAX formula. And in this DAX formula, we're gonna say that we want to use, if it's selected all, to have all. If all the customers are selected, it has all. If one customer is selected, to put the name of the customer. Let's check how it goes. Now I have a customer table here, and in this customer table, I'm gonna open a new measure, and this measure, I'm gonna call it selected value, just for the sake of reminding you about the DAX formula that we are gonna use. And in this selected value, we would say if selected value, and here I would choose the customer name, the customer name table, and in this customer name table, we would have this one equal, and this one is equal to blank. So basically nothing is selected. It will give me all. Otherwise, it will give me selected value, customer name, customer. And it's done. Now you see that I have used a measure called selected value. All I have to go to the same shape that I made. And in this shape, I am going to go to style. And in the style, in the place of the text that I put all, I'm gonna select the conditional formatting. And in the conditional formatting, I'm gonna use field view. And in this here, I'm gonna select the selected value. Here it is. And I put B. And here you go. So if I choose now George, Jennifer, Mazen, Mac, Ryan, Sam, it is changing. And if you want to add to your visual the percentages, all you have to go data labels, and you can see here, I can see this data label. I choose inside and for gap. For gap, I don't want it to have it, so I remove a gap, I keep total sales, and in total sales, I put it at the end. So now you have it. And here you can see it is working the same way it's working with the above budget tracking. Now, if you want to add these are very small and straightforward. All you have to do is bring the card, and in this card, I'm gonna add the total sales. So from this sales, I'm gonna take total sales. And here you can see the total sales is here, change this one to sales USD. And here you go, you have this one. Now the other card will be a simple card. I don't want any edges on it. So I'm gonna bring this card over here and I'm gonna put the budget. So total budget. And I think we are good to go. All it needs some formatting. That's it for today. I hope you liked the episode. And if you liked the episode, please write in the comments what did you like. And let's open a discussion about the episode and what you think is challenging to you in your Power BI project. I'm here to help you. Please reach out if you need any help. Have a nice day.